Hello everyone, Zadix Squared here, and welcome to Clan Krug. We are now 1 week into Guardian Games of 2023, and while the Titans are doing their best to pound everyone else into dust, there is something that I think that everyone, regardless of class, should be making strives to try and get, and that is the exotic weapon Heir Apparent. Heir Apparent is tied specifically to Guardian Games, and you can only get it once a year for 3 weeks when Guardian Games is around. The rest of the year, you can't get it. It's the same for this catalyst, which also drops during Guardian Games. In the past, Heir Apparent has been a kind of gimmicky, not incredibly good, but not necessarily bad exotic, but with the machine gun buff that came with Lightfall, it's actually moved into a spot that's made it really good. For this video, I've done some damage testing with it and used it on both Warlock and Titan to see how it played, and it's actually really good right now. On Warlock, I ran it with Strand, using the Arcane Needle melee to unravel enemies, and then use Heir Apparent to get off a lot of extra damage. On Titan, I ran it with Actium War Rig, which is going to slowly refill the magazine as you're firing, which is going to allow you to fire this thing almost indefinitely, with the one cap on how long you can fire being your reserves. I compared both against the Last Wish boss Callie, and also damage tested a Divinity Regnant combo using my Cascade Regnant, which is crafted, which is the thing I've been using against most raid bosses to do insane damage. Now, Divinity is not the best option for it, but no other special weapon is going to be doing enough more damage that I think it's going to really impact the results that I got all that much. And the results I was getting with Heir Apparent were really, really good. Like, multiple hundreds of thousands of damage more than my Regnant was doing. Its main issue is that it is a precision weapon, unlike my Regnant, which means that you do need either a Divinity or a really easy to hit precision weak spot. But with the amount of damage that I was doing, 1 Divinity and 5 Heir Apparents on, Actium War Rig Titan or something like that is going to do an insane amount of damage and should do more damage than 6 Regnants. I also used it in a few GMs on my Titan using Actium War Rig, and I was actually quite impressed with how versatile it was. It was able to give me a shield to be able to help res allies, or take a little bit more damage while attacking enemies. And it was also really good to just be able to shred any majors that came up in our way, and take care of large groups of miners that might normally be a threat if you're not able to deal with them fast enough with a primary weapon. On top of this, because of the amount of reserves that it has, you're able to use it fairly frequently, and deal with large groups of adds, and then swap onto a miner, and still have some ammo left for the boss. I was also using it a lot in Hypernet Current, where you have art craniums in the boss room to help you do damage, so that was also very helpful, allowing me to use it more frequently than I normally would have earlier on in the strike. However, even in cases like Arms Dealer, where I was using it, I had plenty of ammo even while using it earlier in the round, just because I was using Heavy Ammo Finder to be able to get more ammo throughout the strike. The biggest issue I kept running into, honestly, was the fact that I kept overestimating how large the shield was. It is an incredibly large shield. However, if you overestimate it, it is very easy for large groups of adds, or a boss, or whoever it might be, to just eat through your shield and kill you in a second. Oftentimes before you have any time to react, because you can't run while charging up. Other than running it with some advantageous exotics like Actium War Rig, or subclass abilities like Strand Warlock or Solar for Radiant effects, there's not too much build crafting that I've really done for this weapon so far, though I am interested to see if I could come up with anything that would be even more insane than the stuff I've already figured out. But since Guardian Games only last 2 more weeks, I did want to just make everyone aware of this weapon. I know that people know that it exists from Guardian Games, but I don't know how many people actually realize that it's quite good and that it could be used even without a build to just be a solid exotic heavy weapon. And I basically just wanted to inform you all that not only can you use it in high-end content like raids or GMs, but you can use it for fun in Crucible or other things like that. And you should definitely go out of your way to get this exotic in the next couple weeks before the season ends, before Guardian Games goes away, because you won't be able to get it for another year. And if it gets another buff, it could become even better than it is now, and you're really going to be missing out. I already think it's good enough now that you're going to want to go out of your way to get it, and if it gets another buff, it's going to be necessary to use in a lot of activities. With all that being said, have fun with Guardian Games, everyone. Go get Heir Apparent, enjoy the fact that Titans are almost definitely going to run away with it this year, but it is what it is. Guardian Games has never necessarily been exceptionally balanced. It normally is pretty easy to figure out after the first few days who's going to win the entire event, but it is fun to just chill with your friends and just have fun playing the game for a little bit, not really caring that there's not much content in the game right now. And obviously with next season, I'm sure a lot of people will be back, and build crafting is going to be back on top. We're getting a lot of exotic changes next season, and I'm really excited to see some of the things that we're going to be able to do with them. Between the exotic weapon changes, the exotic armor changes, and new fragments and aspects for certain subclasses, there's bound to be a lot of new builds that are going to become viable, and I'm definitely here to be able to share it with you guys and also guide you through to figure out what you might be able to find on your own. Anyway, I've been Zadex Squared. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, everyone.